there. Oh, I've been waiting all day to send you this message. I want to give you a big old friendly hello from New Orleans. Well, actually, I'm not home right now. I am visiting my mama's house. Now, you remember my mama from the story. She used to make dresses. And let me tell you, she's still making dresses today, too. This is her costume room. So you can see over here, we got a lovely new sketch that she's working on. Oh, isn't that darling? And over here, we've got some new fabric in the works. I think she's working on a Queen Elsa costume, but I could be wrong. Anyway, you know my mama used to always make dresses for my best friend Charlotte. You remember Charlotte, right? Well, you know Charlotte, she loves putting on big old fancy parties, and she takes birthdays very seriously. Now, she told me it was your birthday, and she also said that Princess Tiana was your favorite princess. Is that true? That just warms my heart, sweetheart. Now, once I heard that, I had to learn more about you, so I reached out to your mama, and she told me so many things about you. Girl, I thought you were 30 years old. You sound so smart and mature. But I think you're only 4 or 5. Is that right? Well, anyway, let's see what your mama wrote about you in my fancy book here. Now, I heard that you like reading, very good for you, and swimming, dancing, playing drums, frogs. Now, let me tell you something about frogs, child. Never, and I mean never in my life did I ever think that I would kiss a frog. But you know, Prince Naveen's always talking me into stuff. Now, he's lucky he's handsome, and he's lucky he turned back into a prince. I'm glad we both turned back into humans again. I did not want to be a frog for the rest of my life. Now, anyway, I heard that you also like to do gardening work. Is that true? Do you work in the yard with your mama and your aunties? You got to come to my house because, you know, I may be green, but I did not have a green thumb growing up, so I might need your help. The one thing I am good at, though, is cooking. And I hear you like to cook, too. I wonder what your favorite thing is to cook. I'll tell you what mine is. I love cooking gumbo. I think because it reminds me of my daddy. I miss him a lot. You know, he used to always say to me, ain't no use wishing on stars if you don't put any hard work behind it. I'm sure you know all about hard work if you're out there helping your mom in the yard. Say, do you remember all my friends from the story? I'm sure you've seen the movie tons of times. And you know, all my friends had their very own dreams that they followed. And I'll tell you the first one, my friend Charlotte. That's Miss Charlotte. Now, she wanted to be a princess. That's all she wanted growing up. And you know what? She did in fact become princess of the Mardi Gras parade. She looked so beautiful up there on the float in her beautiful dress that my mother made for her. And you know, Louis the alligator, there's Mr. Louis. Now, his dream was to play trumpet in a jazz band. Oh, he loved jazz music. But here's the problem. People were afraid of alligators, and so he wasn't very welcome in the jazz bands at first. But with a little persistence and a little courage and working on keeping his head up high, he eventually was invited to be a part of a jazz band. And now he's sharing his talented trumpet playing with all of New Orleans. I'm so proud of him. I know he worked really hard for that. Now, the next one who had a very special dream is Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray the Firefly. Oh, he was the backbone of our community in the bayou. He really held us together. He helped us keep our faith when we were sad, and he had lots of wisdom to share too. Now, Ray's dream was to be with his bright and shining star in the sky. He called her Evangeline. Now, it may be a little bit sad that Mr. Ray left us at the end of the story, and he went up there to be in the heavens. But you know what? His dream came true because he got to be with his true love, Evangeline. Still makes me tear up a little bit. Now, what other dreams do we have here? Oh, I almost forgot about my dream. Well, you know my dream. My dream was to have my very own restaurant, and I did it. But it was not easy, let me tell you. It did not happen right away. It took lots of time and lots of hard work and lots of tears too. There was one time when I came really close to buying this big old building, but then somebody else bought it before I could. And you know what I learned that day? There is always going to be someone out there with more money and more fancy things than you. But don't let that get you down, because you know what they can't do? They can't be you. And that's what's special about you. There is nobody else in the world who is like you. And that's the magic that you bring. Speaking of which, I heard that you've got some big old dreams to maybe become an astronaut someday. Is that true? Ooh, child, talk about reaching for the stars. Well, you know what? I already have a feeling that you have the willpower and the heart and the smarts to make any dream come true that you want. As long as you stick to it. And remember what my daddy always said, you got to put some hard work behind it too. And if you ever do reach up to those stars one day, you be sure to say hello to Ray and Evangeline for all of us. And just remember, there's been trials and tribulations. I know you've had your share, but you've climbed up a mountain, you've crossed a river, and you're almost there. I hope you have a wonderfully happy birthday, Princess Ophelia, and I hope that I'll be blessed to meet you someday in person. But until then, bye-bye.